When they cut the microphones, who's still talking? When history gets rewritten, who remembers what really happened? We do. KBLA Top 1580. Black media isn't just important right now, it's essential. Because when mainstream outlets move on, we stay. When the headlines ignore our communities, we don't. When decisions are being made that affect black lives in our schools, our neighborhoods, our economy, KBLA is in the room. This is more than radio. This is a lifeline, a record, a rallying cry. Black stories, black voices, black power.
The heat is on.
On the air and in the culture. KBLA Talk 1580. Stay connected, stay informed, stay loud.
Stand up!
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss you. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
If you look in the mirror of another person that you're in relationship with, and reflected back to you is a void and an absence and an emptiness, you cannot locate yourself because you have lost yourself in the relationship. Let's talk about what it's like to die inside. I'm Alan Robarge, a relationship educator and a psychotherapist, and I like to talk about, and I work with clients who lose themselves in relationship. And this is an ongoing experience. It's not a one-off. It takes many, many years to find ourselves, get ourselves back. And it's very easy. The foundation of our sense of self is a bit precarious or fragile, and we can implode into a relationship. And when this happens, it's as if we've entered this other existence, this other realm, this other way of being. And it usually comes with great suffering and this great longing and this deep pain to be understood, to be reunited with another person, usually what's called the love object. And quite honestly, it's just the person you care about. And many of us have this experience to the point that we question if we will ever be loved and experience a relationship. And
Andy, who is that? Because he said something that I think is very important. Alan Robarge. He said something very important. I think men in general don't come into relationship knowing who they are. We come into relationship knowing what we got to do. Who we are, listen, I'm whoever you think I am. We come in knowing exactly what we need to do, or we think we know what we need to do. If you sit down and talk to a lot of women will tell you, he has no idea, who I am in this, right, in this light, or in this scenario, in this situation. I think a lot of us, just like Truemonger said on TikTok here, I think a lot of us are performing. 100%. All I got to do is make sure that this weekend that she coming to see us, I got to make sure this weekend everything look right. Everything fly for this weekend. Then after the weekend, whatever I had to do magic to make this weekend. Now I got to pay the piper. It's a very powerful topic tonight. And I think it's one that doesn't get talked about enough. Who can he turn to? He, meaning men. Right? How do we reduce the stigma around going to therapy for men? Right? How do I suffered from this? The emotional honesty part. Right? How do we get men to go to therapy to deal with the emotional honesty? Sometimes there's a lot of emotional dishonesty in men. I'm as a man, I've observed it in myself and other men. Do we need brotherhood circles? How do we encourage early intervention, right, before a crisis develops? How do we promote emotional literacy with men? That's a big one. Tap into how you feel, brother. I had a sister on here a month or so ago, and she had like a whole retreat, right, for sisters. And I told her, I said, please, we got to do this for men. Men need to go on a retreat where we get to tap in spiritually. I don't think men take spirituality serious. Some men call right now and prove me wrong. 1-800-920-50. Spirituality at the highest level is not doing something. It's more about being something. Andy has something to say here.
I don't care about my emotions.
Andy said,
and I don't care to share them.
He said, I don't care about my emotions, and he don't care. What?
And I'm going to deal with them. Because you know why? The homies don't care about my emotions. I get my family. I get my lady. But the homies don't care. And,
okay.
And even if I do share it to them, they not going to do nothing about it. They just going to be like, man, toughen up, homie. Man up, homie.
Wow.
So I keep it to myself. And I deal with it with God.
So you know what's cold about psychology? Developmental psychology says your life improves, right? Especially when you get to midlife, right? And older. The barometer for a good life are sustained quality relationships. And not just intimate ones with your lady and your family, but your friend group. Right? That is the barometer. Like, meaning becomes the most important thing, right? So I hear what you're saying, like the homies won't care. Sometimes you have to look at it from this perspective. The homies I currently have. See, because let me tell you something. When healing starts happening in you, the homies, either they grow up with you or they exit stage left. Then they be like, oh, he changed. No, he grew. Do you see what I'm saying? So you can't, we all need a solid, and it doesn't have to be 3,500 people. That's what social media told us. We all need a solid five-man crew that we can sit down and be like, yo, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm having struggles with. Sisters got it all day long. Now, I'm not going to do what Dwayne Wade and LeBron James and Chris Bosh and all them did. I'm not going to get on the hot dog on vacation. On the inflated. I'm not going to do that, but I'm just saying. Brothers need to go on their own little trips, excursions, and adventures, and build camaraderie with each other.
I'm sorry, I can't do that, man. It's going to look very on the other side.
Let me give you an example. Because this is why they say we toxic. But let me give you an example. If I said, hey, Andy, me and my homeboy who owns the cigar lounge, his son and my son, We going to Egypt, man. We want to see the pyramids. You not down for the brother trip?
I'm down for that. But
that's what I'm talking about.
But if you said Maui or Cancun, the perception is just a little different.
No, I get it. But maybe that's part of the perception might be part of the scaffolding that keeps us from going inside and getting more vulnerable. So sometimes we got to attack the scaffolding too. I hope this is making sense. Pebbles from Houston, Texas. Yeah. Pebbles. Am I making any bit of sense here, child?
Of course you are. Let me tell you what I do. I'm reading all these books of these different men that have come through some mud to find themselves. That's what I do now. I'm retired. Mm-hmm. So I'm picking up something from everybody's story. Mm-hmm. Because I'm looking at Supernova. What's his name? Supernova?
Supernova. I'm hip to Supernova. Men
okay,
heal
don't
thyself.
He have retreats?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he's Queen Afua's son.
He is.
Yeah. I'm hip to Supernova.
So if we go into that sister to get our healing.
Right.
The brothers can make some brother circles.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? You are welcome on this show anytime you want to call in. Do you know that?
Thank you, because I've been trying to get to y'all since you had that. What was that? Mansions with Corey and them.
Oh, yeah.
And I ain't down with that mindset no more. And you got to talk to the real women out here, not these little airheads you want to bring on the show to sit there and say that silly stuff. You got to bring them seasoned sisters.
I love it, seasoned sister. Now we have a ritual here. When you call into the show, I ask you a question and then you give me an answer. Now,
okay.
I ask you, I say, guess what you just did? And then you say, I brought Houston, Texas in the building. Are you ready to try it?
Sure.
Pebbles, guess what you just did, child?
I brought Houston, Texas in the building.
Whoa. Listen, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do to join this conversation is call us at 1-800-920-1580. We love Pebbles. She was amazing. She dropped jewels. We appreciate her. She is seasoned, and she always has a seat at the table on the VOR, the voice of reason. Listen, we got more callers. I want to get them in here. You already know what it is. It's food for thought time. Hey, Nikki from Mississippi is on the line. Nikki, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Brother Zoe in the fam.
Hey.
I have a question.
Go ahead. I'm with you.
So you often have talked about women creating safe spaces for their men. Mm-hmm. Is it possible that men don't feel safe with each other and that's why they don't talk?
Huh. That is such a great... Yeah, certain dudes... Yeah, I'm not safe around certain dudes.
I'm thinking about...
That's a good point.
On the Shy, they have a men's circle on there, which I thought was very cool for them to represent.
Right.
Varying ages, different walks of life in terms of vocation, occupation. But even listening to what Andy was saying a few minutes ago about location of men's trip, it makes me want to ask if in your circle of dude friends, maybe 3, maybe 5. I grew up with brothers.
Uh-huh.
So in the dynamics that I got to observe because I was little, certain brothers will talk to each other and certain brothers talk at each other.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that's why I'm asking, is it possible in the process of manhood now that guys don't feel okay with talking to or with certain guys there about their feelings?
Okay, so I see what you're saying. Let me give you a little clarity. When I say uncomfortable around certain dudes, you gotta understand, there are men who behave in the exact same way that some women behave in y'all circles. Like, for instance, I had a sister, she was telling me, I gotta go to dinner with my Judas. And I said, wait, what? You're Judas? She was like, yeah, she's the Judas in our circle of homegirls. I can't really trust her, so I'm going to dinner with her so we can have a discussion. So, and we had this conversation. She was like, there's various characters, maybe not necessarily a Judas, but somebody who's borderline Judas, and we got to see what she's really on. With men, this is why I say, sometimes I'm a little uncomfortable, because with men, it can go left fast. Once we figure out, like, you on some silliness, it might go to hands. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, the less I know about him, the better. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm just saying that's how men are. And I'm saying from my generation, this is why they might say my generation is toxic, right? Because our generation is, hey, if you can't be honest in this circle of men, if you can't be truthful, if you can't be a man of your word, if you don't have integrity, you know what I'm saying? We look at those guys, side eye, so to speak, and we move away from them. Does that make sense?
It does, but it might be pointing more toward the direction I'm trying to go with my question.
Okay, go ahead.
Because if the younger, not our generation, but the one after us, if they don't have any representations, if they don't see what you're talking about represented in manhood, how do they learn to discern what to say to who or in whose company?
I see.
Without it just being, it went left. Because I said it and it was with the wrong one. Because you're talking about in this circle of men managing their emotions.
Right.
Well, in my experience with young people, period, that after us, they don't do well with emotion at all, male or female, with a circle over that one.
Wait, stay right there. Don't go nowhere, Nikki. We getting to something. We gonna peel the layers all the way back when we come forward. Let's get it.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. The midterm election campaign season is here now. The 2028 presidential election is right around the corner. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. It's all in for 2026 and 2028. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Let's celebrate. Y'all did it! Loving each other, needing each other.
Hey, Los Angeles. KBLA Talk 1580 is turning 5, and we're celebrating in a big way.
Oh my God!
Join us Friday, June 19th, Juneteenth, 4 to 7 p.m. at the Beehive for our 5th anniversary bash and Juneteenth celebration. We're talking surprise celebrity guests, a special presentation, and a major announcement you will not want to miss.
I can't wait to hear it.
Plus, live music, dancing, games, and enough food and drink to keep the party going.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Of course, you're welcome to bring your own picnic basket, blanket, and lawn chair. And the best part, it's completely free. But here's the thing. You've got to sign up in advance. Space is limited, so don't wait. Head to KBLA1580.com right now and lock in your spot. Friday, June 19th, The Beehive, KBLA Talk 1580. 5 years strong, and we're just getting started.
Happy anniversary, KBLA!
Yeah, man.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Shout out to my brother Marcus Murray.
Cartoons.
a lot of what's going on with men right now. It's loneliness, it's isolation, it's touch starvation, it's suicidality.
Sexlessness as well.
Sexlessness. And it's no individual person's responsibility. But the real problem with this is that these are not problems that men can solve on their own. This is exactly why this is the problem that men are experiencing. Because as men, we are taught to be independent. We are taught to be, you should fix everything on your own. And so men have fixed all of the things that we can fix on our own. The only thing that's left is the things that we must rely on other people for, right? So no one's complaining about, I mean, a lot of men are obese, but there's not like an obesity, there is a crisis, but that's not what's bothering people. That's not where we're losing the war. We're not losing the war on baldness, right? So there are lots of things as a man that you can fix in your own life. It's just the real challenge is that no one is willing to take responsibility for any level of connection with men. And so that's not something that is going to get fixed because you need another human being to hug you. Like you can't hug yourself. It just doesn't work. Oh.
Wow, who is that, Andy? Dr. K, Healthy Gamer. You already know we play a plethora of clinicians, podcasters, radio personalities, coaches. We play a plethora of people who actually have load-bearing points for each topic that we present. You're listening to the Voice of Reason live on KBLA Talk 1580. Again, you are at the scene of the conversation. Tonight's conversation is a deep one. Who can he turn to? My daughter is in the chat on TikTok. She says, turn to God. But as Dr. K, Healthy Gamer, said, can't hug yourself. A lot of men are struggling with touch deprivation, loneliness, sexless life. I mean, it's interesting. I've got a caller on the line. I want to get her in here. Nikki from the SIP, legendary deaconess from Mississippi. And she's peeling back some layers here. And I'm giving her pushback as a Generation Xer. I'm sounding very toxic right now because that's how it's labeled, right? My response is like, he gonna get beat up if he come in here talking crap. No. But how do men sit with each other? Does the man, or maybe one man has to be seen or respected as maybe a pastor or a coach or something like that in order for the other men to be like, oh, this is somebody I should listen to? How do we get them to lock in?
I was thinking, you talked about going to therapy. A man might want to go to a male therapist. He might get a lot of pushback for the female because he might feel ganged up on him. So I'm in the illustration of the shy because that's a good age group. It's a wide age group of men in that men's circle. But they have managed to create a safe space in that men's circle for men to say whatever men have to say regarding their feeling. And I'm wondering, are we failing in our guy relationships, particularly as you're coming out of adolescence, to establish that same kind of safety from an emotional space? Because if you haven't had practice exhibiting the emotions in any environment that doesn't come out like angry or can be perceived as something that might be fearful causing.
Right.
How do you create that in your dude relationships before you get to our age?
You know what? Stay right there. Don't go anywhere, because I want you to ask me this question again, because let me just say real quick, I got the cigar lounge. That's like a brotherhood over there, the cigar lounge.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it's iron sharpen iron over there. We debate, we check each other, we pull each other in when we're out of control. Like, just stay right. When we come forward, Nikki from the SIP is gonna ask me that again. We got a lot to talk about.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. President Trump says the U.S. could work with Iran to destroy its highly enriched uranium if a deal is reached.
We'll take it out and destroy it.
Speaking on NBC's Meet the Press, Trump said the two countries are very close to an agreement, but warned Iran could face more military action if talks fail. The Iowa Supreme Court says the University of Iowa cannot change how it distributes a privately funded scholarship intended for black students. The donor's will specified the money should go to black students majoring in the physical sciences. And Baltimore, Maryland's Safe Summer program is underway after Black Mayor Brandon Scott launched it at Druid Hill Park. The program includes community events and resources aimed at promoting peace and public safety. This year's theme is Breaking Chains, Chasing Change. Last year, Safe Streets held about 60 events, including block parties and school supply giveaways. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
Stand up! When the story gets twisted, who's going to tell the truth? When they cut the microphones, who's still talking? When history gets rewritten, who remembers what really happened? We do. KBLA Talk 1580. Black media isn't just important right now, it's essential. Because when mainstream outlets move on, we stay. When the headlines ignore our communities, we don't. When decisions are being made that affect black lives in our schools, our neighborhoods, our economy, KBLA is in the room. This is more than radio. This is a lifeline, a record, a rallying cry. Black stories, black voices, black power.
The heat is on.
On the air and in the culture. KBLA Talk 1580. Stay connected. Stay informed. Stay loud.
Stand up!
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy.
Wow, Charles Barkley?
I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
Sure, Chuck. That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for. Open 7 days a week.
Oh, can I use your ATM? My dog walker only takes cash.
Anything for a neighbor.
Can I try the catchphrase?
Sure, take it for a spin.
There's no fees or minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
Nice, Chuck. I'll take it from here. Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bankguide for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. It's high time that we say the quiet part out loud about what we consider a disgrace, an absolute disgrace to the people of South Los Angeles. Destination Crenshaw, or as I call it, Procrastination Crenshaw, was supposed to be a 1.3-mile celebration of Black Los Angeles. Pocket parks, commissioned art, a cultural corridor along Crenshaw Boulevard, stretching from our studios in Leimert Park down to Nipsey Hussle Square. It was set to complete in 2022. That's right, 2022. We are now in 2026, and the Crenshaw community is still waiting. A grand opening was announced for February 2024. That date passed with not a single artwork installed. Then we were promised that construction would be completed by the end of 2024. That date came and went. Our understanding is that as of last fall, the 8th Council District Office was still scrambling to raise additional monies just to restart the project, which has been paused again and again. But here's what makes my blood boil. City officials had the nerve to tell this community the delays are, quote, a necessary inconvenience, close quote. A necessary inconvenience? First of all, who are you talking to? Second, go tell that to the black business owners who have been coping with construction chaos, breathing dust, enduring years of road closures and the scarcity of available parking, confronting unsanitary conditions, losing customers and revenue, all while the project they were promised still sits unfinished. They wouldn't let a project sit this long in any other part of this city. And for what it's worth, our elected official just happens to be the president of the LA City Council. Meanwhile, the city is laser focused on sprucing things up for the World Cup and the Olympics. Please, if this corridor were in Brentwood or Beverly Hills, it would have been completed on time, on budget, and on the cover of every magazine in town. The Crenshaw community deserves better. They deserve the truth, and they deserve what was promised to them. Now, right now. Not when it's convenient, not when the cameras are rolling for the Olympics. Now, this isn't incompetence, this is a pattern. And at some point, neglect becomes a decision. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, we welcome your feedback.
is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Do you express your emotion to your woman? I said, no. Why would I do that? Oh, and they tried to kill me. But I don't. And the reason why, because as a man, you are to protect, provide, and love. And women are emotional and caring. So if I'm telling her I have a bad day, now it's two people with bad days. I don't tell my woman I'm having a bad day. How's your day? Oh, I'm good, baby. I got to take care of it. Because if you put stress on her, she's going to put it right back on you. Because it's our job to protect, provide, and love. But people, oh, you did? No, I don't do that. I take care of everything, and that's just how it's going to be. And you know why I'm like that? Because it's work for me. It's work for me. So I'm not going to meet somebody now and be like, oh, no, I'm not doing that.
But Big Dog, you can't work till you die. There has to be a number. There has to be a finish line. There has to be something.
It is. And I don't want to say the number because, you know, for us, when we say the number, I don't want to make it seem like I'm bragging. The number is to where my kids can have nothing to worry about. That's the number.
I love Shaquille O'Neal. And Shaquille O'Neal is a highly educated brother. But again, that's that old toxic definition of masculinity, work until you die so everybody else is okay. You're not a tractor, right? Some could argue that Shaquille O'Neal has the same mentality of manhood that white men had for black people. You are a tool to be used. I don't want to, I'm not saying that's what he's saying. I'm saying you could argue that that's the perspective that Shaquille has of manhood, which is work yourself to the bone to take care of everybody else until you die. That's literally what he just said. That's not manhood alone. See, first off, manhood is not a job. Oh, wait, hold on. Hey, hold on. Who told us that manhood was a job? There are many organizations connected to Men's Health Month and campaigns like Movember often emphasize that untreated emotional pain can manifest indirectly through anger, isolation, compulsive work, emotional withdrawal, risk-taking, addiction, hyper-independence, or relationship instability. Listen. Are we going to blame God? Did God say, man? Well, I guess. Genesis. From here on out, from sinning, you're going to have to work from the sweat of your brow. I guess that's who told us. All right, Nikki from the SIP is back in the building. I guess it was God who told us. All right, then that's our mission. Well, that's the end of
Beers in my head.
that. God told us. That's what we supposed to do. Shaq is right.
Do men ask other men friends how do circumstances make them feel? Does that appear to be Vesa if you ask your other guy friends that question?
Nikki, you should have seen Andy's face when you said, like, what? What in the world?
Yep.
So,
Yep. Now, I learned that from my husband. About year 3 or 4.
Wait, your husband?
Yes.
I'm going to take my shoe off and throw it out the door. A husband? Like, he was your husband?
He's my husband.
What?
Right. He's my husband now.
We need a praise break. Cut is a husband.
You got to hit the floor. You got to praise him like it's your man.
All right. What in the world? A husband? Okay.
He used to be my husband, okay?
Okay, all right. He's a husband. All right.
But I asked him at some point in us early being married, how did things he would tell me about make him feel? And he told me nobody else asked him how he felt. People would ask him what he thought, but not how he felt. So consequently, all these 100 years later, he still talks to me about his feelings. So I'm asking that question because in my family, which seems to be the odd people out, that was a common occurrence in my home. I didn't realize other dudes' families didn't do that until I got the ones that didn't.
Right.
So if in the time we are in now, there's so much emphasis on masculinity and what that's supposed to mean, a mental health month where men are concerned, I can't think of his name right now. It's Brandon something. Used to be on with the Pivot people. I can't think of his last name right now. But he asked, are you okay?
Right.
To check with his other men friends, right? Okay. Do you ask each other how you feel about things that occur? As dudes? Without appearing soft or beta or, whatever the common vernacular is to not be manly if you were to ask that question. That's no. Okay.
No. I don't recall a man ever asking me, "How are you feeling?"
And would it make you feel weird if a man did?
No. But I think we say things a little differently. Sometimes it's, what's happening with you? You know what I mean? What's popping with you? Are you all right? What's going on? Like, we might say that.
Does that mean, how do you feel? Because my dad would ask my brother, how does that make you feel?
Now, I will say this. I've encountered those type of questions have come in therapy. Those type of questions have come in academia. Like if I'm talking to a counselor or something, how are you feeling? You'll get that. And I've gotten that from women, predominantly from women. Like, how are you feeling? But from men, how are you feeling might get translated into, hey man, it's been a minute. Where you been? You all right? You okay? You see what I mean? Man talk, I think.
Well, perhaps because again, the men I grew up with say those words, and they mean,
how are you
how
feeling?
does that make you feel? Right. It literally means that. So are we at a point where, in whatever the vernacular is today, with not our generation, are you asking your dudes for real, what are you feeling about what's going on with you?
No, I really think what you're pointing out here is necessary. I think there needs to be more of it, and I think we need to get comfortable with our friend groups, right?
Yeah.
That can just lean in and be like, hey, I'm checking on your well-being. How are you feeling, brother? Now, I do that more now. I got a friend who is caretaking his mother. His mother is 100 years. She just turned 100 years old. And I realized that's not an easy job to take care of his mother. And she has dementia and, and all of that. So, man, he needs a respite from time to time, right? And it's a everyday struggle, Sometimes she don't sleep, he don't sleep. So you see what I mean? That whole thing. So I check in with him, and I'm checking his temperature. Bruh, how are you feeling? How is your spirit? Where's your mind at? How what do you need? I'm asking him these things. But I've known him since I was 12. Andy has a point here.
I think also, growing up, we were so much in competition with each other. That's another reason why we're not checking in with each other's feelings. We are in competition, whether it's trying to get the girl, trying to make the football, basketball team. Everything is a competition with us. Yeah. So to even have the perspective of checking in on how somebody is feeling, we're not thinking like that until adulthood, like late 30s, early 40s.
I like that, Andy. You agree, Nikki?
I think so, and I'm going to tell you something else. I'm going to point back to the show you had with Dr. Pete, because we were talking about when did something start happening? In the 80s. And she reminded me how older I am, because she wasn't born until 81. That was the first time in the history of us as a society where we had, in the 80s and 90s, we had hardcore female drug addicts as moms. Which took us in a different direction from a nurturing perspective.
Okay, hold that thought. Stay right there. In the 80s, drug use took us out, took the mother out of her nurturing nature. When we come forward, we going back to Mississippi to get the rest of that.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Did you know that $60 billion are lost every year to Medicare fraud?
If someone has been a victim of healthcare fraud, the more we talk about that this occurs, older adults will feel more comfortable about sharing their experience.
It's not about someone not being smart enough or not paying enough attention. Falling victim to fraud can happen to anyone.
If I've been scammed, if I've experienced it, and I'm angry about it, and I want to do something about it, then I have an opportunity to volunteer and share with other people. Here's what happened to me, but it doesn't have to happen to you.
Medicare fraud hurts people, it hurts Medicare, and we need your help to make a difference.
It's powerful to be able to address an issue like Medicare fraud, and being a volunteer for SMP gives you that power to do it.
If you have passion and dedication and want to be of service, we'd love to have you join our team.
For more information or to volunteer, visit californiasmp.org.
Going to a World Cup match in LA this summer? Ditch the parking stress and ride Metro. With direct service from across LA County, it's the easy way to get there for just $1.75 each way.
All I need is one mic.
With the KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm James Farr.
$2.5 billion. Governor Gavin Newsom said it was there for fire survivors in Altadena and the Palisades. No strings attached. That was the promise. But the burning question is, where's it at? 18 months later, an NBC4 investigation came back with the numbers. The numbers don't answer the question, they deepen it. Where's it at? About $605 million has been spent, roughly 75% still not released. Where's it at? Roughly $14 million went to CHP overtime and ICE immigration protest response for crowd control. Not rebuilding homes, not rebuilding lives, but crowd control. Where's it at? Another $13 million went to the state health department for video campaigns, while fire survivors waited. While families in Altadena are still trying to put their lives back together, still trying to get housed, this is the hope gap and it's real. Where's it at? Southern California Edison is still in court, still fighting liability tied to the Eaton fire, still not accountable. Where's it at? 18 months later, Governor Newsom, where's it at? Because the truth is free, but the lie can be very expensive. And right now, fire survivors want to know what happened to no strings attached. And I've been saying on this mic for the past 18 months, somebody or somebodies didn't do their job. Now it's documented. Governor Newsom, listen closely. You didn't do your job. You didn't keep your promise. You held up the bill. Now stop holding up the money. You said no strings attached. Instead, you played on the people's heartstrings. Where's it at? See, Governor Newsom, even at the French Laundry, if it don't come out in the wash, it's sure enough gonna come out in the rinse, and the rinse cycle is here. With the KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm James Farr, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
You want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Like a bullet missing the heart. Oh, I'm missing you. Like a blue sky missing the stars. Missing you. One too many lonely nights.
So, I don't want to be attached. And yet I find myself getting attached to an idea. You understand? That is, I must be free. And somebody or some book or something says, do this, you will have that. So the reward becomes my attachment. You follow? So I say, look what I've done, be careful. Don't get caught in that trap. Whether it's a woman or an idea, it is still attachment. So, I'm very watchful now. I've learned something. That is, exchange for for something else is still an attachment, right? So, I'm very watchful.
Come on, Murty. We're attached to the idea that manhood is about performance, production. Manhood is more than intimate slavery. I'm a protector and a provider. That's it? And I'm going to do it until I die to ensure that everybody else eats for generations to come. Listen to the... Nikki from Mississippi, get in here and give us your final summation. Well,
I just think we touched on so much, and thank you, Andy, for your perspective. I think if our young men are not getting to that space until late, when they come to women, it's a catch-up situation. Mm-hmm. Because it hasn't been practiced early, because chicks are doing that all the time.
Wow. Yeah.
Food for thought.
I love you, Nikki. Guess what you just did?
I love you all back. Mississippi in the building.
Mississippi in the building. She loves everybody, man. Tonight's topic, bit of a doozy. We were talking to the boy who learned love through performance. What happens to a boy when praise arrives only after achievement, obedience, athletic success, toughness, or usefulness? How does conditional affection quietly train men to associate emotional honesty with relational risk? Why do some men experience rest as guilt instead of what it is, recovery? How many adult men still unconsciously audition for love inside of every relationship they enter? You telling me men do not need a respite from that kind of performance? Who can he turn to? That's our topic tonight. Who can he turn to? Did some fathers accidentally teach survival while starving emotional development simultaneously? Shouldn't he teach his boy how to survive and how to develop his emotional capacity? What does material or maternal inconsistency teach a boy about emotional trust? Let me say it again. What does maternal inconsistency teach a boy about emotional trust? How does a father's absence reshapes a man's ability to regulate rejection, conflict, and intimacy later in life? These are real conversations that brotherhood circles should have. One of the most powerful brotherhood circle I was a part of, my homeboy Marcus King, who managed Jamie Foxx, invited me to come to Oakland. And it was a whole prayer meeting. And it was nothing but brothers and all brothers. But they were all professionals. And they were reading the Bible and praying. It was amazing. And they still do it in Oakland. Listen, I started the conversation. It's up to you to finish it. The Voice of Reason will be here all week with nothing but fire. I'll holla.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN.